In Louisiana, we're very fortunate to have such a diverse water system. We've got big rivers. We've got all the water that comes through most of the United States through our state.
Piney woods and rolling hills, bottomland hardwood, cypress tupelo swamp to a magnificent coastline.
We've got it all in Louisiana, and we've got a great fisheries. Within wildlife and fisheries, one of the most important parts, I think, is our inland fisheries section. And that's separated into two main areas. We've got one area of what we do, which is fisheries management. We manage fish populations, we manage habitats. And the other big area is aquatic vegetation control. Some real big challenges in that area. We've got invasive species that complicate our life. The biggest part of our job is to try to evaluate what's out there. That's not easy because you have to do sampling and you have to make some estimates on an ever-changing population.
We manage the freshwater fisheries throughout the state. Everything from largemouth bass to catfish and crappie. Taking note of the composition of fishes, the abundance of fishes, to analyze the data and make recommendations, management recommendations based on our sampling and analysis.
And it's something that we do all the time. We sample in lots of different techniques and we get different aspects of a fishery to make sure that we get a collective that tells us what's there. We use several different means to collect fish. One, and I guess even the most fun to me, is electrofishing because you see lots of fish very fast.
It's one of the most effective freshwater fisheries sampling techniques that we have. It allows us to capture fish right then and there, not come back 2 or 3 days and check a net. We're there in the boat capturing fish. We're able to keep them alive and get the information we need, the length and weight data, and return them back to the river or lake almost immediately, unharmed. All right, we're gonna get these fish weighed and measured as quickly as I can, get them back in the water. 330.
You can go out there and get lots of fish very quickly and get a pretty good estimate of the population, but it's not complete. You need to also get estimates of the small fish in the population and even the big fish in the population. And so for those aspects of the population, we use seines, we use nets of various types, and we put that information together. And that gives us an idea of the overall population there. And we do this in a way to where we do it year after year after year. So if something happens, some type of event or anything that happens that might alter that population, even a regulation, we would know because our sampling would show a change.
What we notice in our streams is that they're very sensitive to what goes on in the watershed. So what's taking place outside of the stream itself. If there are projects going on in the watershed that lead to excessive runoff or excessive pollution and things like this, the mussels are an indicator species to that. They'll be the first ones affected by conditions taking place in the watershed.
It's important to sample those mussels and make sure that they're there because they're our indicators of a freshwater system's health.
There's a devil in the dirt with his garden underground. Be careful how you flirt, 'cause it's bound to bring you down, down.
My name is Alex Perrette. I'm the Aquatic Plant Control Coordinator, Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Our main goal is to provide access for recreation to our public water bodies. We do that through control of nuisance aquatic plants. The biggest problem we have are the floating plants, the giant salvinia, the water hyacinth, common salvinia. They kind of get out of control. They cause problems on our waterways. They can cause access problems at boat ramps, fishing problems. People can't access areas that they want to fish. You could go launch a boat one day and have no problems and come back to the boat ramp the next day and you may not be able to get your boat in because the winds may have changed and now all of a sudden there's this giant mat of vegetation there.
They're a plant that probably is not much of a problem in their native habitat. They're a big problem for us because the controls that kept it in check and wherever it came from aren't here. We use herbicides, we use biological means, bugs. If we can find some bug that will eat that plant and not necessarily eat other plants. In some cases, we may even have to use water fluctuation. And that means dewatering a lake to strand and control aquatic vegetation in a wholesale way. Now there is an inconvenience and a loss of recreational value to the people that use the lake. We respect that.
At the end of the day, our main goal is to make sure that we're providing the users of our water bodies the ability to be on the water and enjoy the wonderful fishing and boating we have here in Louisiana.